If you are heading to Disney World in 2027 next year, then you're going to want to hear all about Disney World's newest dining plan option. So now instead of 2 dining plan options, there is now 3 dining plan options. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the new dining plan option, what it all entails, and if it's right for your family. And make sure you stick around to hear all about our family's favorite dining hack. So let's get into it. So before we get into all the different options that the dining plan entails, first let's just do a quick brief run through on what it means to get the Disney World dining plan. So first of all, if you get the dining plan for your family, that is going to include everybody in your family who are ages 3 and older. So you can't just get the dining plan only for certain people in your party. Everybody has to get it, and everybody has to get it for the entire length of stay. So those are the rules going into the dining plan. So for kids ages 3 to 9, they will have the children's dining plan option, which costs less money, but that does mean that they can only order from the children's menu if it is offered. So if there is a restaurant or a quick service where there is a children's menu, they have to order from the children's menu. If there is not a children's menu, then they can obviously just get whatever they want, or if there's a buffet, obviously they can get what they want and they'll be charged as a child. And that also means that Disney classifies 10-year-olds and older as adults. So this is really something to consider once your child is 10 and over, if they are going to eat the amount that the dining plan costs, because that's what it really comes down to, right? You really have to weigh against what the dining plan costs and if you would have spent that if you weren't using the dining plan, or if you would have spent more. So that is what we are going to be going into today to see what it all entails. So before Disney made this change for 2027, there were 2 dining plan options: the quick service dining plan and the Disney dining plan. The quick service dining plan was 2 quick service meals per day plus a snack plus a refillable mug. And the Disney dining plan was 1 table service meal and 1 quick service meal, a snack, and a refillable mug. So those 2 plans are not changing. The only thing that is changing is that the middle tier, the Disney dining plan, is now being called the table service plan. So with that change comes the new dining plan option, which is going to be the Deluxe table service plan. Now, if you had been going to Disney World before 2020, the COVID years, you would know that these 3 plans were actually already around when Disney had their dining plan options pre-COVID. And so this is really the dining plans coming back to what they were back then. Obviously, they're going to cost a little bit more than they did back then, but a lot of people are very happy to see this new dining plan option. And the Deluxe table service plan means that you are going to have all 3 meals covered. So you're going to get 2 table service meals and 1 quick service meal, plus a snack, plus the refillable mug. So this is where it really jumps into the next level, where you are not having to worry about one of your meals, where in the quick service and the table service plan, you're only getting those 2 meals, and then the other 3rd meal you had to pay out of pocket. So this is where the big change is coming. But there is good news in that Disney is actually offering a promotion for 2027 that kids will get a 20% discount on their plan. So that is really great for parents with young kids. These are just for the children ages 3 to 9. So if all of your kids are over 10, this isn't really going to apply to you, but that 20% off for kids ages 3 to 9 will really make a big deal. And I really do think when there is a promotion like this, it definitely deserves a little bit more looking into. However, Disney does tend to, like any retail store that's having sales, they tend to up the price of the original payment a little bit more and then offer the discount. So I do think there is a little bit of savings there. So now let's get into whether the dining plan is worth it or not for your family. So when we are thinking about the dining plan, we have to keep in mind that the way Disney prices these is by looking at the most expensive item on each menu, and that is what they're basing the price off of. They're also basing the price on whether you're getting a dessert and an alcoholic beverage. So if you are the type of family that doesn't drink any alcohol, or you don't really like to have dessert too often, the Disney dining plan is not going to save you any money at all. You're not even going to break even. You're probably going to lose money on the dining plan if you don't have that alcoholic beverage at every meal, if you don't like to get dessert. So these are really the things that you need to think about when you are trying to figure out if the Disney dining plan is worth it, because it is true that it is so convenient. It gives you the opportunity to pay for all of your meals up front. So while you're paying for your package month by month, you are also paying for all of your food. So when it comes time to be on your trip, especially if you're getting the deluxe plan, you don't have to worry about any food at all. Any money that's coming directly out of your pocket, you've already paid for it. But it doesn't really make sense if you've paid for it ahead of time and it didn't save you any money, or you didn't even break even. So that is really something to consider. If you don't have a budget at all and all you care about is convenience, then go ahead and get it, because it is super convenient to have. But if you are trying to budget, it really is something to think about. When I was making the dining plan video for 2026, I really broke down the comparison of the meals between not having the dining plan and having the dining plan, and whether it made sense or not. And in some cases, it did make sense. Like the quick service dining plan does kind of make a little bit of sense, especially when it comes to convenience, and especially because we're not seeing a whole ton of price increases between the quick services. A lot of them really are in the same area price-wise. However, when it comes to table service meals, you really are not going to make out on the dining plan unless you are doing a character dining every day or a fine dining every day, unless you get the most expensive meal on the menu every single time. You're really not going to save money. And personally, I feel that it doesn't really offer much flexibility when it comes to how you're feeling in that moment. Because sometimes you might be planning out your trip and you might say, oh, that sounds wonderful, having 2 table service meals and a quick service meal. I would love to do that. But then when you're there and maybe you're snacking a little bit more than you thought you would, because Disney has some really great snacks to offer, and you find yourself not really hungry enough to have a full sit-down meal for 2 of your meals out of your day, and then a quick service meal. But however, everybody is different. Everybody eats differently. If you are the type of family that prefers to have 3 meals a day and then maybe 1 or 2 snacks during the day, this plan could work for you. However, my family, we love the snacks. If it wasn't for my kids being picky and needing to go get some chicken fingers, we would literally just snack all day, every day. That's just how we are. So the dining plan just doesn't work for us. We also don't drink alcohol, so it's not worth it for us in that respect either. And now that my daughter is going to be 10, she is not going to eat like an adult does. She's not going to eat like my husband and I. She's still going to want chicken fingers and a burger with nothing on it. And, she's going to want those foods that aren't going to be the most expensive item on the menu. So for us, the dining plan just doesn't make sense. And I'm going to tell you what we do instead. So my family does the gift card hack, where we, instead of paying into our Disney package per month, we're paying off of our package and we're putting money towards our room and everything and the dining plan. Instead of doing that, we're putting that same amount of money onto gift cards. So the way that works is when you are building your package, you add on the Disney dining plan, whichever one you think you might want. If you think you might actually eat at 2 table service meals every day and a quick service meal, add that on and see what the cost difference is when you add it on and when you don't add it on. That number will be what your goal is for the gift cards. So for my family, we really just kind of look at the quick service meal and meal plan and see what that is. We add on a little bit more because we might do 1 or 2 table service meals. So that is kind of what we do, and that's our goal budget for our dining. So every month we will buy Disney gift cards until we reach that point. And what we do is we go onto disneygiftcard.com and we combine all of those cards into one or two specific cards. Each card can hold about $1,000, so that will be our budget. We have one for dining and then we have one for souvenirs. And what Disney actually recently did, which makes this hack a lot easier, is that you are able to now add in a gift card into your My Disney Experience app to be used as payment. So now you can use it on your Magic Band, you can scan it on your phone, which makes it a lot easier. This hack was a little bit more tricky before they did that. We were having to find ways to pay with the gift cards without having to use our Magic Band, which is super convenient. So now it makes this hack so much easier because you're able to just scan your Magic Band to pay for your food and merchandise using the gift cards. And what's great about the gift card hack is that if you have money left over, if you don't use as much as you thought you would, you have a little bit of extra money to use towards souvenirs or even booking your next trip. If you have $200 left over after your trip, go ahead and make that the down payment for your next trip. It makes it really easy to use all of the money that you're saving, because with the dining plan, if you don't use all of your credits, you don't get that money back. So a lot of people actually wind up with credits that are left over, which is a waste of money. Another thing to consider with the dining plan is that it includes the refillable mug. And when you first hear that, you might think, oh, this is great. I get the refillable mug for free. That's awesome. But this only makes sense if you would have used the refillable mug anyway. So if you are the type of family that drinks a lot of soda, or you want to fill it with coffee or anything like that, then it makes sense. If you don't drink soda, if you really only like to drink water, having the refillable mug is not worth it because that is what it is used for. It's used for having unlimited soda and unlimited coffee from the drink dispenser machines. I think they have more than just soda. I think they probably have like lemonade and, things like that as well. But if your family really just likes to drink water all the time, like my family, it is not worth it to get the refillable mugs. And then having it be included in the dining plan means that you are getting this refillable mug and you are not getting your money's worth from this mug, and you paid for it. So I know that it sounds like I'm really beating down on the dining plan, because personally I just don't think it's worth it, but it can be worth it for some families in certain circumstances. Like I said, if your family is already going to eat the amount that the dining plan has, like if you always get the most expensive things, if you always get dessert, if you always get alcoholic beverages, it might be worth it. Another way for it to be worth it is if you have a lot of kids that are between 3 and 9 and you're having this promotion, this 20% off promotion, you could wind up saving a bunch of money. So that is another way to think about it as well, is if you have more than one child in that 3 to 9 discounted range, it could be worth it for your family. So let me know down in the comments if you and your family love getting the Disney dining plan and you can't wait for the new option in 2027, or if you don't like to get the dining plan at all, or if you're going for the first time, what are your thoughts on the dining plan? Do you think you're going to get it, or do you think you're not going to get it? And definitely go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out in any way. And don't forget to subscribe, and until next time.